okay, so Clash of Champions is done, and of course, since it ran over, I didn't get to finish watching it till about half after it was done, so they finished doing Ride Along. Maybe the E should start doing what SmackDown did, where they ran slightly less than 3 hours to not have that issue where if you're watching it 1 minute, I think it was 1 or 2 minutes behind, that you get kicked out at the end, and then you have to go to a website to find it, or wait till a later point to actually find the rest of the match. So, of course, we begin with a triple threat match. Did we begin with that? No, it's probably went to a house show last night with Big E out for the women. So we'll talk about the women's match first, even though we got the tag match. That's right. Too much wrestling over 2 days. So we get the tag match. So we have the New Day versus the Club that are not called the Club anymore. Nice back and forth. I'm glad that they let Gallows and Anderson just control the opening moments of this match. Great job laying out everybody. They looked like they were going to get a good squash victory on day 399 of the New Day. Ironically, it should be day like 474, but the New Day actually lost the belts to the primetime players a little over 400 days ago. So they were like 75 days into their title run, they lost the primetime players. Hard to think of that over a year ago, the primetime players would be considered contenders for a tag belt. But Club looked good. They looked nice and dominant until Aaron's shot from a trombone led to the midnight hour, and that was it. Anderson ate a trombone to the face. But New Day won, and I'm glad that they actually had to fight a little bit dirty. It's okay to have a little bit of edge. It's okay to not be like, oh, we're the White Knights. It's, you know, we had to do what we had to do to retain. Good. I like that. That's good. It showed that the Club was actually stronger. We'd like to see the Club get the victory, but showing that the Club is a more serious team. Hopefully now the New Day won't cut a comedy act and they'll do a serious bit. If they do that, that'd be pretty sweet. So, moving on. I'll touch on the Cesaro Sheamus match. So, when you do best of 7, everyone kind of knows it's going to hit match 7. Ironically, next OSW review, they started fighting 2 weeks before and then fight at house shows. So technically, from my estimate, this is actually match like 10. And they beat the holy crap out of each other. Cesaro does a suicide dive that it had that Sasha Banks, Lita sort of, your career just got shortened and you're now like 3 inches shorter than you were before you did that move. And these two guys threw out every single stop. 619 by Cesaro. Saw that last night. It's pretty sweet. Every big hit they could do. But they then go to the outside. Sheamus goes for, I'm guessing it was a close one off the top, eats an uppercut. So he's on the top rope, jumps to the outside for the clothesline, eats the European uppercut, and then they brawl their way out. I'm thinking, we're going to have a no contest. Ends in no contest. They're like, let's look at Sheamus. He's like, no. And Sheamus is just like blood blisters and just looks just tore up. And my first thought was, you know what? Make them a tag team or put them in a Hell in a Cell. I think those two in a Hell in a Cell and be like, all right, the winner of this match takes on the Universal Champion. And then whoever loses, you're like, you know what? You did a phenomenal job. You take on the U.S. Champion. Like, so if you win, you feud with Owens. If you lose, your job to Reigns. Oh, spoiler. So we'll talk about the Perkins-Kendrick match. Kendrick came out to a little bit of, you know, crowd's like, we dig him. And then T.J. Perkins comes out to the E's version of Mega Man theme music. Very video game inspired with like, Player 1, max health, T.J. Perkins. I'm like, man, that sounds a lot like Mega Man. But Perkins does this thing where he climbs down the top rope and does a forward flip to get in the ring. And when he does the flip, his hood covers his head when he lands and flip it off for the reveal. I was like, if that was planned, that's awesome. If that was unplanned, that's right up there with like the Roman Reigns toss the chair into the cage and it lands perfectly. They did from Raw. These two guys, solid match. I like how they did a little bit of flying and then mat work. And Corey Graves took lead on the announcing for this. So they did it more of a cruiserweight style match from the CWC. And I like how instead of doing the, oh, you're in a submission, and then you fight out, they did the, no, I don't want to be in your submission. I love that. It's go for the knee bar. No. Fight out of the knee bar as much as you can. Captain's hook. Fight out of it. Make them work to get the submission on you. It's those little tweaks that give it that slight, less sports entertainment, more sport sort of feel to it, which is great. Perkins wins. They go to the post-match interview. Kendrick is like, hey man, good job. And a headbutt. I'm like, good. Keep that going. Perkins needs that person to help really guide him through the E style. And the best person to do that is the Brian Kendrick. Period. So solid match. Did a good job. Jericho Zayn. I like it. I like how they went from Zayn beating Owens to transitioning to Zayn facing Jericho, Owens bestie. Good. Nice match. Great back and forth. Two highly athletic guys who get along well, who know how to tell a solid story in the ring. Great. Solid match. And it's out of nowhere Codebreaker, because you got to give a couple heels victories in this. But you know you can see him fight a little bit more. That also means we'll probably start to see maybe Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn taking on Jericho Owens. And any of those four guys work in a solid match. I think a Jericho Rollins feud would work well if they wanted to push Zayn up to face Owens for a little bit for the title. I mean, it's the best of both worlds right there. It's a great, great match. And it's a great sort of sequence. Triple Threat Women's match. Think about the way they booked Charlotte. They used Dana to keep the match flowing and be like, oh, it's no DQ, so Dana can occasionally get involved, but not overshadow the match. Just enough to kind of be like, oh, I'm the heel and I'm outside the ring. But they booked Charlotte really, really dominant. Because this match wasn't, oh, Bayley and Sasha are going to fight. This was pretty much, oh, we're going to work a little bit, but when we're going to work heavy on Charlotte. This is almost a 2-on-1 match. Sasha and Bayley didn't fight that much. It was pretty much all focused on defeating Charlotte. And Charlotte was victorious after stiff kicks to the head and pinning Bayley. Great match. Had they had booked Rollins the way they booked Charlotte, oh, no one would have called that a crappy title reign. They book her like this absolute force of nature. And she makes it work. She's a big, dominant, athletic woman. I do think that this style of match, it works better for a smaller competitor. Because it did seem like Charlotte was starting to get kind of winded towards the end. Not saying she's lacking cardio. But normally triple threat match, you kind of cycle people in a little bit more. And this one felt like with the narrative of Charlotte wanting to be in the ring so she would not lose her title from someone else getting pinned, really kind of wore her down, but she still won. So she looked really dominant. And it was great storytelling. Really solid match. Loved it. So we got our last two matches. Rusev, Reigns. Rusev, stupid dominant. Just working Reigns over from pillar to post. With Reigns getting a little babyface comeback. Kind of getting the crowd into it a little bit. Knowing what the last two matches were, I was like, well, they're not taking the belt off Owens. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Rollins, there's bigger stories for Rollins that tend to focus on some dude in a suit. And I was like, they're gonna run with Owens for a while. So it means I knew that meant we were gonna see Rusev drop the title. Because, he was on a massive terror streak, and last week he lost to John Cena, and it pushed him back down. Roman Reigns needs to be out of that main event picture. He needs to be out of the main event for quite some time. Maybe not WrestleMania next year, maybe SummerSlam of next year. He needs time to get more of the male crowd behind him. He's got women, he's got kids. If he has a good, solid mid-card run, the guys who are kind of on the fence who boo him because it's cool might be like, you know what, the guy's actually pretty good. Keep the mic out of his fist and just have him punch people. Have him put on good, solid matches for mid-card guys. If he does a U.S. Open challenge, good. Have him put on some good, solid matches. Show that he's really solid in the ring. He sells well. He needs probably a slight tweak to his offense because it's really heavy on the impact moves. I'd love to see him have a submission thrown in there. But you knew how this match was going to work out. Rusev was going to own Reigns as much as possible. There was a spear, 1, 2, Lana pullout. Good. Lana ripping a ref out of the ring. Good. Of course, one spear later, new champ, crowd kind of got behind him. They tell a good story with Reigns when they don't sell him as an absolute underdog against everybody. Against Rusev, yes, Rusev is a large, irate super athlete who worked Reigns over after the cage match. Good. That works. That's a good story. He's been upset. He's been attacking Reigns from behind. Good. Showed Reigns as being a little more beat up. Good. There you go. It's not, oh, how's Reigns going to beat these guys? No. You don't have Reigns taking a bunch of slubs. You have those guys beat down Reigns. You give Reigns that, oh man, how's he going to come back from this? You have him get pounded the majority of the match. And most of his comebacks, you have him get stuffed. The match works. It's a simple babyface heel beatdown match. Good. We then get to go into Rollins Owens. Kevin Steen, Tyler Black, main event. Owens on a tweet that his first WWE pay-per-view that he saw with his dad was 21 years ago yesterday. And that's the first time he was actually headlining a pay-per-view. This match, of course, cut out after the missed senton on the outside to go to ride along. So I actually had to wait till about 10:30 to actually watch the finish of the match. So these two guys went at it. It's like they saw the Cesaro Sheamus match and they went, "Can we top it? I'm going to give you a gut buster that looks like I actually severely injured you. Okay. I'm going to go for the package pile driver, yeah? And you're going to fight out of it." It's like that's the move he's going to hit once. And it's going to, that's going to be like the E's burning hammer beyond the fact they've already done a burning hammer. Great back and forth. It's still weird having face Rollins do like a hand up thing, like, and then like point at the guy. It's a weird thing to see him like taunt a lot when it's a face taunt. They go to the outside of the ring. Owens is going for a running senton. He does a crotch chops to the ref, crotch chops to to Rollins, and then misses. Now we're getting to our finishing sequence. Jericho gets involved. Okay? Not bad. I can dig it. I can dig it. They do a ref bump. We see a pedigree. Jericho puts the foot on the ropes. We see the ref take like a knee. We see the ref get knocked down because of pop up. Throw him into the air. You know, since Rollins does CrossFit, leaps over him, hits the ref. Jericho gets involved. Jericho gets hit. Steph's on another ref. Pop-up powerbomb, 1, 2, 3. I like how Corey Graves is the heel announcer is actually running down the fact that Jericho gets involved in a title match. So Owens retains. Good. Solid match. Worked well. Just the right amount of interference. Just the right amount. It's like they're really evenly matched. We have to do a little something to tweak it. So between the women's championship match, they had just a little bit of Dana. Just a little bit of Dana. It's like salt. Just bring a little bit of Dana. And it goes a long way. Same thing, it's like a little bit of Jericho. Just a little bit of Jericho. And a solid pay-per-view. I am getting tired of the if it runs over and you're not watching directly live, you get kicked out. He needs to fix it. That's just aggravating.